All right, lovelies, it is 8/8 or Lionsgate. It's all about manifestation. And today we're going to talk about how does your trauma that you've experienced, your emotions that you're storing in your body, your negative emotions, contracting emotions, fear, anger, resentment, not being able to forgive, not being able to let go, do all those emotions block your process of manifestation? So let's break it down. I'm really excited. We're going to do some drawing exercise. And here we go. So this is you, and this is all your emotions here, right? And I'm gonna draw some hair and some hands and some legs. So this is you, and you want to manifest a flower or a house or a job or whatever you want to manifest. So how does this manifestation process work, right? It's a thought, something you're thinking of, your desire that you're turning into an intention. You declare it, you say it, and then you take an action, and that thing materializes, right? So you're thinking, you have a thought process, I want a flower, right? Flower. And then you say, I am going to get a flower, right? You speak it, you declare it, and then you walk and you see an actual flower outside. Okay, it's like Hawaiian flower. So you walk and there's so many flowers, and you pick up the flower, and there you go, you manifested the flower. Now this is an easy manifestation. What if, however, you wanted a boyfriend, right, or a loved one? You want a true love, right? Or whatever it is. Same process, right? However, think about inside. These are all your emotions, right? So you have one of your emotions. This is your emotional body, right? You have anger. You have fear, right? You have resentment. Maybe your relationship with your dad wasn't good, so you have a belief system that men are bad. So all those things in your body, regardless of what you're trying to manifest, when you're trying to get the flower, or you're trying to do the action that it is to materialize those things you want to manifest, right? You need a certain amount of energy to turn that thought form into a physical form and to manifest. Energy, right? This energy that you need is being blocked. So there's only a certain amount of energy you have inside of you. And then maybe you're working with outside energy of the universe, right? You get more energy from your spirit guides, from swimming, from wherever you live, from the sun and all that. But what happens if part of your energy, let's say you have 100%, right? That's how much you have. But then 20% goes towards thinking about your anger, 20% goes towards thinking about your fear, 20% goes towards your resentment, right? 40, 60, 20% goes towards limiting belief systems, 80. So now you're down to 20%, right? That's how much energy you have. So I'm writing it backwards, so it should be like this. Anyway, you're getting my point. So you only have 20%, right? So you are only working with 20% out of your energy. And to manifest that thing that you're trying to manifest, you need 80%. And that's why it's taking so long. That's why it's not working. That's why you're doing all the affirmations, you're trying to think and manifest it and feel it and all that, but your trauma is blocking the manifestation. So instead of walking and trying to get the flower and going down that road, right? Instead, you could just work on removing your anger, right? So now you have 40%. You've just released 20 or 80%. And then you're releasing your fear. Now you got 60% available. Your resentment, your belief system, and so forth and so on. So what I'm trying to say is the way you feel, all your trauma that you've stored, and I'm saying not saying it's your fault, but your trauma takes your energy because it requires energy to maintain that energetic body of negative emotions, whether it's fear, resentment, anger, and also. So you're feeding that energy. So instead of manifesting, instead of attracting that goal that you want to do, you actually are using 80% of your energy to feed onto your resentment, fear, anger, belief system. What you can do is inner child, healing work, parts work, forgiveness, self-love. There's so many different exercises. And free up some of the energy. So then you have more capacity to manifest, and you have more capacity to work with the universe to manifest. So I hope this helps. And happy manifesting, Alliance. Get aloha.